All right, it should be live on YouTube. I didn't
Fuck
pull
yeah.
it up on my app to find out. So,
Can you send me the link so that I can drop it out for people?
yes, I definitely can.
I probably should have said that before we got on, but whatever.
Well,
What are you gonna do?
yes. Let's see, dragging. By the way, dragging the table. Hilarious. Let's see. I feel like a real Riley Trudell right now.
Oh shit. A whole ass weenie bag.
My channel. Hey, there we are. Share. Copy link.
There we go.
Adam Simmons. It's coming.
Me,
It's
baby.
coming. It's coming. It's coming. All right, I texted you the link.
Oh, fun on a bun. Wonderful.
I gotta say, I'm gonna put my cursor over the view count here because I don't want to know anyone's watching.
Yeah, that's fun. That's always something that's fun.
Watching the people go in, and you're like,
And then
this
drop
many
out.
people."
Like, oh, I got 8 people sick.
Okay. Well, I know we're live, but I just want to say how there was no support from either side on the last winner's circle. Got no love from the creatures or the circle on that one.
Yeah.
And that was probably our funniest one. I had the best. I cannot wait for Mikey to drop that because I had the best moment I think I'll ever have in
You guys are
podcasting.
fucking killing it, man. You guys are doing really well. I mean, until me and Bobby show up and then we fucking derail the whole thing. But
I don't know, man. Kaz and Century are supposed to be next week, and I feel like that's going to be the upset.
Yeah, no, Kaz is. Don't sleep on Kaz. Kaz knows everything about everything.
Dude, Kaz knows everything about everything. Every time I listen to his show, I hear it's like, if I was ever going to cheat, it would probably be on that one.
Right. Well, here's a quick story about Kaz. We were hanging out. Everyone was here playing. We were hanging out playing Mortal Kombat. It was like 11:30, 12 midnight, something like that. We're all fucking high and drunk and hanging out and doing whatever. And I'm running shit on Mortal Kombat. I'm like, oh, you guys want to play whatever, blah, 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 this and that. And Kaz is like, I'll pick up the game. I don't care. He ran through every single one of us with a different character each time and never looked up a fatality and creamed us all with fatalities. I was like, how do you know that many fatalities? Like, I don't get it. And he's like, yeah, I've never played this game before. It's like, I fucking see who you are.
I just understand the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a moment, I just have to say, where I whisper to Beth what I think the answer is. And I'm like, all right, maybe we can get it. And Mikey, we all heard you. Your whisper was heard by everyone. So everyone who's not watching the winner's circle, you're missing out and you're losers.
Yeah, what a fun show, man.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Dragging the Table. My name is DJ, and I have a special surprise for all of you today. It's our old pal, Adam Simmons from the Simmons and More show.
What's up, dude?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
I'm going a little stir crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. This might be like my 4th or 5th cup of coffee. I'm wearing button-down shirts because I'm tired of putting a shirt over my head. I need a haircut. I honey fermented garlic for the last 2 weeks, and now I've just been eating honey fermented garlic for no reason.
Like just cloves of garlic?
Yeah, so you take cloves of garlic and you squish them so you can get a little bit of the allicin, like that little bit of bruising. Because it opens up, I guess, the capillaries. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about, but you get that allicin on the garlic, and it did like 4 big bulbs, And then I got like some raw local honey from this company called AU Honey, which is a local raw organic honey company from here. My friend Bobby owns, and I just sat it in there, and then you put it in like a jar that you like a fermenting jar, like a mason jar or whatever. And then every couple of days you just burp it. You let that fucking little steam out, and then you close it right back up, and then you let it sit for like 2 weeks. And then you know how like the consistency of honey is like super thick and viscous.
Mhm.
It'll become like a liquid. It'll become like the consistency of like almost like a shake or like a soda. You know, oh, you know what is good? Like a VSOP, like
What is that?
viscous, but like a Hennessy or like a Jägermeister. So like viscous to the point where you're like, oh, that's like thick and not water, but definitely not like water. It's super good. It's good for you. It helps boost your immune system.
So
And
wait, do you eat the cloves or drink the honey or
I
both?
do I do both. So I use the honey and like brush it on chicken and cook the chicken, and I'll put it in like a shake or whatever. Um, and then I'll just eat the cloves. Like I'll just take a little spoon and go pop that sumbitch right in my mouth.
Like I've heard of people talk about candied jalapenos, and I've never tried those. Is it in that? Because I've eaten, and still to this day, I'll eat a clove of garlic every once in a while, but it is like trial by fire trying to get through a clove. So is it just a
No,
beautiful
so you don't even
sensation?
get the garlic flavor. I mean, not you get the garlic flavor. You don't get that burn. The garlic burn when you bite into raw garlic and you're just like, my whole face hurts. Like that thing that I love about garlic, it's not there anymore. So that dissipates when you create the allicin and then ferment it in the honey, and then all of that flavor goes into the honey, and the honey replaces it in there. It's kind of like there. If I had a chart, like
That'll be next episode. We'll get you a flow
yeah,
chart and
I
a.
need I need visual aids.
So what was I going to ask you next?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. You would think I'd have written down some questions for this, but
Nah,
in
you don't have to do
true
that.
DJ nature, why would I? You know what's funny is I almost, because you and Bobby have been like going back and forth on people or writing each other questions. I did almost just cold DM Bobby to be like, "Hey,
Oh yeah,
what are some more questions?"
yeah. Bobby
Or
Moore comes up with some good ass questions for me because he likes to ask really abrupt, ridiculous things. Because he likes to try and get me to be uncomfortable, but that shit very seldom happens.
I don't know, man. Like sometimes there have been at least a few times that I feel like I've heard you squirm on the show. By the
Um,
way, wait, before we go any further, will you tell everyone where you're from, where to find you, all of it? Like I know you do like people to see your name and know Simmons and More, but they might not know about Creatures of the Night, uh
uh,
Inner Circle Sports, all that.
yeah. So, my name is Adam Simmons. I am I guess, the CEO of the Inner Circle Podcast Network. I am on like a myriad of different podcasts, and I have guested on just about every single one of our like all of our friends' podcasts as well. I do uh, just sit in, question, whatever. But I'm on the Simmons Moore podcast, hashtag SamPC. Bobby Moore and I have been doing that for about 4 years. We've been friends for over 23 at this point. We met when we were in like seventh grade, and now we're like 42. We're like old as shit. So we've been doing that. And then through SamPC, we got together with the guys from the NSFW podcast network. Joe B from AnyPod found us, scooped us up off of Twitter, and then we were introduced to like the Wutskis and Almy, and then we got together with the Plunge guys, and then us and the Hood Diner were all on NSFW, and then they stopped doing stuff. So I posed a mutiny like a pirate, and then everyone came here, and then we formed the Inner Circle Podcast Network, and now Inner Circle Podcast Network has like, well, we do Creatures of the Night, which is our new show, which is a conspiracy theory show. We do Inner Circle Sports. We do the show we were talking about earlier, the Winner Circle. We're gonna do the Dinner Circle, which is just gonna be Kaz eating on the mic. The show that started our entire network was called Comedy is Dead. Unfortunately, we stopped doing that for a little bit because it was getting too tedious. We kept having people want to come on and be like, oh, like, I want to talk about controversial stuff. And then it'll be like, dicks, pussy, N-word, C-word, this, that. And we're like, we're having like an intellectual conversation about, you know, we don't need you to like talk about how you put a finger in your butt. Like, we want to talk about why it's okay for you to put your finger in your butt. And they're like, Paul, fucking C, N, whatever, blah. And we're like, okay, like we have to like cool this down for a hot second and like let it breathe.
You can say Jason Almey's name. It's okay.
Oh, it was, I mean, listen to episode 1. It was definitely Jason Almey. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I dropped an N-bomb on that episode as well. But
well, Jason's been carrying on the tradition for you ever since.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that was a cop. Sorry, my brother.
It's okay.
Was just smoking weed in the street. It's not legal here. And then the cops just gave us a drive-by. So,
and if you're wondering what Adam's brother looks like, imagine someone that Brad Pitt would be like, you got to meet this cool guy.
Yeah, no. Bobby Light is dressed like the white Kanye West, and he owns a unicycle and smokes a lot of weed. And he's a chef, you know, he's silly as fuck. He's got a beard, and he kind of looks like a more hipster version of Adam Levine, you know, but fueled by conspiracy theories and non-fluoride toothpaste. So anyway, yeah, I do that stuff, and because of that, you and I met, and
here we are.
And here we are. It's a lot of fun, man. I dig podcasting. It's tedious at times, but like when you're not doing anything, like when the whole world shuts down and then your entire industry is null and void, then what else can you do except get on the internet and talk shit with your friends? And that's something that I've been doing at a surplus recently. So that's pretty cool.
Well, and talking to people, like starting to have guests on this show anyway, is something I've wanted to do. And this has been like a backdoor facilitator to that. All of this, everyone being quarantined thing, because it's like, well, I don't have an excuse anymore. Most people are going to have all the free time in the world. Like there is no like, oh, well, I would, but I just can't make the schedules work out. Yeah. And, you know, we end up here now. By the way, the accolade you didn't give yourself is I don't know if Randall ever sent you the trophy or not, but season 1 podcast of the Roundtable champion.
I mean, I'm here. I ain't never lost. You heard me first. I never lost. I went fucking undefeated on that show. You can eat my whole ass and suck my dick from the back. Shout out to Chris Wutsky. I love him. That show was super controversial, huh? I can't wait for season 2, man. He should start soon because that guy needs something to do.
Like you don't know.
I'm in a group chat.
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
So I'm in a group chat with Randy and Jody, John B, Jason Almey, and Chris Wutsky. And we, you know, we're kind of like the all-encompassing godfathers of our section of the podcast community, you know. The guys have been doing it the longest, the guys who have like, you know, the most clout, I guess. It sounds so fucking pretentious when you say that. Even me saying that I was a CEO of a fucking company, it's just like my friends that get together and we make money fucking shit on the internet. It's all so super pretentious. But regardless, I am in a group chat with those guys, and motherfucker, Randy, I love you to death. But if you call yourself Uncle Randy one more time in a fucking group chat with your friends, I'm going to come down to Georgia and fucking wrestle you. And I know that is a desired result of communication with you. Like you want the interaction because you're tired of playing wiffle ball with fucking toddlers. But hear me out, okay? We know who you are. Just dial it down just a little bit, please.
You can't. It's
revolution is going to happen, dude, and we're going to be there, and it's going to be fine. We're going to take over a fucking Wegmans or a fucking Walmart or a fucking Piggly Wiggly or whatever the fuck else y'all motherfuckers have got down in the South. We're going to take it over. We got knives, we got swords, we got fucking guns and crossbows and shit. You're going to live your whole truth, King. Okay, don't worry. You gotta fucking look, Randall, whole ass Randall, relax. I love you, but
He can't.
yeah,
It's impossible. It's only been ramping up. Okay.
I know.
And I feel okay talking about it because he'll never listen to the show. He might. He might now that you're here, but he's definitely never listened to it before this
Trust me,
episode.
I'm gonna send him the link and be like, bitch.
Tell him when you send it to him, say, do what you've done with the rest of these episodes, and then he'll just put it in the trash. Randall has taken it into overdrive to the point to where it is it's a sight to behold. And it's one of those things where I always wonder, it's what stops me from, because by the way, I was working on my own persona because I was like, this is funny. Maybe there's a lane for me as a persona, and I was going to be, because my name's Dominic. So I was going to be ex-husband Dom. And I was just going to say like like what was I actually made a video and sent it to my wife, and she was like, it's great, but it might be a little too much. And the gist of it was like, what was it? It was like, listener question here. It says here, my wife has 2 black eyes. Something about you've already told her twice.
What
joke.
can I tell her? Nothing. She's already been told twice. That bitch don't listen. Punch her in the mouth.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but you're neighbor DJ. Don't worry. You're a fucking sweetie pie. And sometimes you gun people down and you're the driver for a fucking, bank heist. You're like you're like a little sweetie getaway driver.
Now we just look at the getaway driver is in our past now. That's what we sit around and smoke cigars and talk about. Like, remember the good old days of robbing banks and
Dude, you guys got to bring that back, man. That was a lot of fucking fun.
It was fun. I just don't know who's going to facilitate it, because Joe B really was the mastermind of it all. And Chris and I, whenever we end up playing, like we've played once or twice together, and we end up just one of us driving in a car and then we're just talking. Like it's just a phone call in a car.
Yeah. Oh, that should be a show in and of itself. The phone conversations that I have with Chris Watsky while I'm operating a motor vehicle. Dude, seriously? Okay, so like Chris and I, we're best friends. Like that's my man's. He knows like all the inner workings of my life. Like I had like girls break up with me, and like he's the first person I call. We're fucking friends. We've only met twice in real life. Okay, and they were years apart. But that's my man's. So I talk to him on the phone almost every single day. And we're constantly texting and shit. So he catches me coming off of a hot line, standing in front of a 750-degree oven for 10 hours, and somebody cuts me off when I'm in the car. I start fucking a 45-minute tirade about nothing. And he goes, I mean, was that directed at me? Like, why can we start recording these? Dude, some of the funniest shit that he and I have ever said has been heard by nobody else except the two of us. And it breaks my heart.
Why can't we get you guys 2 of those like little personal recorder Zooms? Or
he has one. I just have to fucking get one, and then we just have to like
get your Zoom. Your what is it called? You can just use the recorder on your phone.
Yeah, like I know. And be like, hey, I'm recording you, blah, blah, blah. He just, you know what it is? When he knows that he's going to get me all riled up, because sometimes he'll just call me and be like, hey, dude, how are you? What's going on? How's your day? How was work? Blah, blah, blah. This and that. This is what you missed in the group chat. Stuff like that. There are days where he knows he's going to fucking stir the pot, like on a Tuesday when he hasn't worked, or he gets home at like 2. And I'm leaving work at 4:30, and he's got a couple of beers in him, and he's sitting on the back porch, and you just hear him stirring the pot, and he's like, "Oh, hey, did you see that thing on Twitter that you were mentioned in?" And I was like, "No, what?" And he goes, so and so said, just something. I'm like, "What is it? I'm driving. Can you just tell me?" And I'll just screenshot and send it to me, and I'll be like, motherfucker, like I'm fucking nuts. He those are the times that he should record, because again, it's like that's like true friendship anger. he just drives it out of me. He is, as Jason Alme would say, the yin to my yang.
Yeah.
He really fucking, he knows how to like twist a knife in me, and he's just like, I'm just doing it for greatness, dog. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, player.
That's why he wants you here in Florida, so that you can be doing that to him
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah, I
But
know.
he's got it. He's wrong. Like, he messed up. He shouldn't have bought the house. He should have. We all should be moving up north, because I don't know what. Somehow Floridians, we all get this weird kind of blindness where we forget that the weather is miserable here because we're inside so much. We're like, that's fine. But then you go outside and it's the worst place to be in the world, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was born in Florida. You don't have to tell me. My lungs developed in a swamp. I'm down to breathe thick ass air. That's for
Where
sure.
in Florida did you come from?
I was born in Broward County.
Oh.
So like kind of in the same area. But I'm a whole ass swamp person, dog. Like there are times like I went down to New Orleans a couple of years, well, almost fucking 10 years ago now. Holy shit. Probably about 8 or 9 years ago. And I went down to New Orleans just for like a trip with the girl I was dating. And we were supposed to go down for like 6 days. You know, I ended up falling in love with the city. She and I had enough money saved away where we could, you know, double the trip. So I was like, hey, like, you want to stick around for a little bit longer? Like, I've got more vacation days. I just got paid again, whatever. She's like, yeah. So we ended up staying for 14 days. On day 13, I was sitting on one of those raft boats, pontoon, with my belly out, right? I had gained about 25 pounds. My whole belly out. And I was eating alligator and drinking Jameson floating down the Mississippi River. And I was like, oh, this is real happiness right here. And I was like, oh, no, I have to go right now. I have to leave. Like, we're leaving tomorrow. Like, get this fucking pontoon on the fucking land. I got to go. Because
So why?
I will be stuck here.
Because you liked it so much, or because you were like, I'm too content?
I'm a fucking whole ass swamp person, Jack. You give me a gun and a fucking a wooden stand-up house, and I will protect my dog with my fucking gun by the swamp, and we'll talk about fucking crawdads and eat fucking scramps in them. I don't give a fuck. That shit, dude, that is like, it's such a slippery slope for me to go and just be a whole ass fucking swamp person. So I have to be here. I have to be around where there's concrete, you know? I hate it. Like, I want to, like, New Jersey's perfect because, like, I live on the beach. I can drive 5 minutes and I can go to the woods and, like, get lost in the wilderness, go find the Jersey Devil, do a whole ass seance and shit. And then I can drive 25 minutes north, and then, like, there's a city, and, like, you know, buzz in and the fucking, you can go hop on a train, go to New York, do whatever, get lost. There's a really good balance here. But fuck a winter for real. I hate fucking winter time. I hate it. It's awful. It's terrible. Okay. If you say that you like the snow, it's because you're psychotic and you were dropped as a child. Okay. Go stick your head in the freezer if you want to be chilly. That's fine. Oh, but it's so pretty. Fuck you. Fuck Elsa. Fuck that little snowman motherfucker. And fuck Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, bitch. I don't give a fuck. All right. You give me 65 to 85 degrees consistently, and I'm happy. I'm okay with that.
What? Okay. When did you move away from Florida? How old were you?
I was like 6, but I've been back and forth a couple of times. And I've done the majority of the traveling that I've done has been in the South. You know what I mean? I did the whole East Coast and then the majority of the South and then California. So I've spent a lot of, and not for nothing, it is fucking putrid here. It is straight up Florida weather in the summer here. Okay. It's disgusting. It is brick wall, fucking disgusting swamp monster, like people no teeth weather out here in July, dog. Okay. It is sweaty spaghetti at all times.
But when does it start? Because our summer this year started in February, maybe late January, and it's been pretty hot ever since, and the humidity is only rising, and it's making the people crazier anyway. The ones we have left outside are all insane. Like, they're all trying to get me off the road immediately. So I don't know, man. I feel, because I've worked outside for the past 15 years. So I've gone through at least 15 summers of working outside in like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you're the
90
front lines of crazy.
you have no idea. Like I had the my favorite memory of doing any kind of construction work was because I've built pools. Like that's all I've ever done is, you know, stuff surrounding swimming pools. And I was working by myself and I'm digging all the ditches to put the pipes in or whatever. I'm done digging the ditches. I'm sitting on the spa, like, God, drinking some water. And I look up and all around on the roof, there's like 10 buzzards just looking at me,
Just
waiting.
waiting.
And I was like, I just looked at my bottle of water and was like, well, it's time to call it a day. The buzzards are waiting for me to drop. I think I need to go.
Yup, that is time.
And that's what it's like. That's what it's like every year. And yet I stay. And that's what I'm saying. We need to get out. Like Chris has lost his mind because he's worked inside for too long. So he thinks this is a good place to be, and he's wrong. You're all wrong. We need to go up north where it's like, forget that.
He only thinks that because he's there. That's it. That is how his brain works. Because we're all up here. You know what I mean? Like realistically, I think Riley, Hunter, and Almy at this point are all like 4 or 5 hours away from here. Like when we were all hanging out here, Almy just drove here. Like he just waited a day for us to he waited for all the crazy to calm down a little bit. We went to lunch. We came back and he was standing on his wife's car screaming at the top of his lungs like, "What's up, motherfuckers? What?" We're like, "Oh, I guess Almy's here now. That's great."
Whatever. I saw the video of that. Everyone was running at him to hug him.
Oh, dude, it was incredible. Well, he fucked up because like we were like, man, we really wish Almy was here because Kaz came out. Because Kaz came out from fucking Arizona. Okay. King Apnea over here showed up from Arizona. So we had no excuse for Almy. We were like, you gotta just fucking come here. Joe B is gonna drive you, or Riley and Hunter are gonna drive you. Davis came. Like, dude, if Davis shows up, Almy, you have to show up. Like, you have to be here. So he waited for all the crazy to die down. Bobby Moore and I got everyone fucking derailed the first night, and then the second night we were just like, okay, like we gotta fucking with this Sam PC 200, we gotta fucking crush everyone, right? And so we go to lunch and we're doing like the little tour thing. I'm showing everyone around to the Kevin Smith sites and stuff like that because everyone's a fat dork. And we go to Brother Ming's comic book shop from Comic Book Men, and there's a deli right across the street. So we go there, and Jason Almy was like, "When are you guys coming back to Adam's house?" Instead of "When are you guys leaving lunch?" And I was like, "Oh, he's here." Like, he's here. He has to be here. And I showed it to Chris, and Chris was like, "Yeah, that's the weird way to put that." And I was like, "Oh, he's here." Like, all right, guys, come on. Rally the fucking troops. We got to go. So Almy was just here, like, doing edibles, sitting on my front porch for like an hour. Like, dude, you could have told us an hour ago. We would have just come home. Like, we weren't doing anything else. So then we immediately, like, we're eating edibles in the car on the way back to my house. We're like, all right, he's going to be high. We got to be high. Me and Kaz are like, come on, let's fucking chief this. And then we show up, and then we do a plunge episode that hasn't been released yet. And it was madness. There was all of us at the same time on the mic.
So wait, I gotta know, because I feel like there's at least a handful of episodes that haven't hit the public yet.
Yeah.
Are those ever going to hear?
Talk to your boy Riley, and then we did the opening ceremonies, and then we did part 2, which was even crazier because opening ceremonies was before the plunge got there, right? And then
was this Joe B's?
When he let the Indian out, yeah. So the opening ceremonies, I just made dinner for everyone. Like, I made a chicken cacciatore over linguine, and we just did it live. Like, you can hear me cooking and sautéing shit, and everyone's just kind of talking and relaxing and chilling. We had a whole setup, like the little flexible arms hanging off of my island, and like, I'll send you pictures. It's ridiculous what we did. And we got like stage lighting and shit in my kitchen. It looked like a whole Rachel Ray production. So So we did that, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. So we were all eating, and we ended up smoking again. And then Riley was like, "Hey, we'll be there at like 10 p.m." We're like, "Okay, dope. That's fine. That's great." Bobby Moore, he told us at like 7 that he was going to be there at 10. So Bobby Moore showed up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And Bobby's like, "I got 2 bottles of Jameson. Let's fucking go." I'm like, "All right, dude, here we go. Let me go get my bottle of Jameson that I've got." And then everyone would start fucking drinking and we're fucking rallying around. And then all of a sudden, my fucking front door opens and these jackasses are playing their own intro music and come into my house playing the Plunge theme song and then start a push-up competition in the middle of my fucking foyer. Just like, "Yeah, we're here, baby. We're here." And I'm like, "Dude, you've been on the road." Like, okay, so Hunter drove from Maine to New Hampshire. And then they got immediately in the car from New Hampshire and drove straight to New Jersey.
So for Hunter, how long was a trip was that?
So, dude, he left work so he went to work at 6 a.m. He left work at 2 p.m., packed his things, and started driving immediately.
And didn't get there till like 10, right?
Yeah, he didn't get here until 10 p.m. It was bananas. And then after San PC 200, immediately left. They just left. They were like, "We got to go do the Penguin Plunge in Boston tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And we're like, "Okay, cool. Dope. See you. Bye. Thanks."
Thanks for the push-ups.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for everything. Yeah, so there's probably about 3 episodes that we recorded that weren't released. The Smoker Circle, which was Bobby Moore, Kaz, Joe B, and Bobby Light at Bobby's house, and that was being recorded during Creatures of the Night episode 2, which was that Shit Happens When You Party Naked episode that we did when we allegedly took mushrooms. We facilitated some illicit substances and then we recorded a podcast and then talked about Anunnaki and fucking Saturn Time Cube and shit. And that was the most fun ever because like you're hanging out. It was right after San PC 200. We're hanging out, smoking cigars. I'm still wearing my house robe and sweatpants. Everyone's dressed in all black. And then I'm like, "What are you guys doing? You guys are going to go do the Smoker Circle. And like, it's just going to be the 3 of us. Like, what do you guys want to do?" Like, "I don't know. Let's fucking get high as shit." "Okay, dope." "Hey, Chris, eat this fucking piece of chocolate." "What is it?" "Don't worry about it." "Okay, cool." I'm like, "Hey, dude, you totally just took mushrooms, just as a heads up. Come on, we're going to go smoke some weed." And then we went to the beach and then we got high and then we smoked cigars. And then we came back and I was like, "Yo, we should just do a pod. You want to do a podcast right now?" Everything was all set up. We had 3 podcast studios set up in my house at all times just so that we could just pop in and fucking go. So we went into the living room one and recorded Shit Happens When You Party Naked, which was just basically us fucking around talking. Me and Chris started fucking going. We were like, "Dude, the reptilians and they drink baby blood and fucking adrenochrome and Jeff Bezos and this." And we just start going and going and going and going. And Almy starts to freak out a little bit. And we're like, "Don't worry about it. Sasquatch is going to save us. He's a fallen angel." And he was like, "What is going on?" And then we watched Big Trouble in Little China and ate fucking Nellie's. If anyone is from New Jersey that's listening to this, you know what Nellie's is. I don't know if you guys make fat sandwiches down there. You take a sandwich with like French fries and chicken fingers and cheesesteak and like mozzarella sticks and like marinara sauce and then melt cheese on top of it. And that's one sandwich. That's what a fat sandwich is. So we ordered a bunch of those.
The trailer park specials. That's what we call them here.
Pretty much. Yeah. We ordered a bunch of those from Nellie's, which is around the corner for me. And then we fucking watched Big Trouble in Little China and all fucking passed out on my couch like a couple of fucking teenagers. And it was the fucking best. And then like that Saturday was like the fucking best day ever. It was great. And then we woke up and we had breakfast and then did a fucking live show. It was cool.
I think if this, all of these travel restrictions or whatever gets lifted before the, whatever you're calling the next, because it's not going to be the Super Duper Bowl, or is it?
No,
next year.
No, it's just I think they're just becoming, so we're not, Bobby and we won't be doing the next Super Duper Bowl because it's bigger than the Super Duper Bowl. Everyone coming here turned into like to support us was incredible. It was great. But now that has superseded the Super Bowl entirely. I at this point won't even watch the Super Bowl if the Jets aren't in it because I'm going to be hanging out with my friends. We're coming down to Tampa, and it just so happens that the Super Bowl is in Tampa this year, but we're going to be down in Florida this year for the Super Bowl. But because that's when the podcast meetup is. So like all of us are going to Florida, right? And then Randy, and then hopefully you can like just fucking swing by. You could just walk on over because you're right. Like you're here, we're there. You're just going to walk right over. And then Randall's going to come down. You're going to walk over. Randall's going to come down and you're going to be here. And then we're going to go like this and come on over. And then we're going to have like a big fucking like a chaos. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Because like I know that you're very not shy and not timid, I want to say, but you're more reserved when it comes to like podcasting and shit. This is like madness. This is like if you ever wanted to record 15 podcasts in 2 days, this is the time. You're just going to be like popping in, popping out, doing 2 different shows are going to be going at the same time. You walk into the kitchen to go get a drink when you're doing Sam PC and you happen to walk in on fucking any pod and you're just like, blah, whatever, suck my dick, blah. And then you walk into the other room and then the Hood Diner's going and then this one's going and then Married AF is over here. And then it's great. And it's a lot of fun because everyone understands how much of a pain in the ass all of this is. Everyone knows. Everybody knows how much of a pain in the ass this is. But we get together to work and to hone our craft and to fuck around and hang out and smoke weed and talking shit. But like we were doing video production, recording songs. We were recording music videos. We did 100 podcasts. We did a live show. We did a live broadcasted podcast with fucking 20 people. And we, there was a cooking show. There was like everything was going on all at the same time. And it's a big fucking whirlwind. And by Sunday, I was like, I need you motherfuckers to not be anywhere near me. Like everyone needs to shut up and go the fuck away from me because this is a lot. And everyone was just like, oh God, I'm so glad you said that. Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah. Everyone go in a different room, fucking leave, walk outside, go sit on the fucking porch and be in the fucking quiet. And we all just like put our headphones in. And it was just kind of like it turned into a library for like 4 hours. And we were just like,
what's that, like a silent disco or whatever?
Yeah, pretty much. We were all just like, I was writing notes. I was doing all of the logos and stuff for the shows that we had to do. Chris was like doing production on some of the episodes. And we just like kind of finally just took a breath. Everyone went for a walk, but we went in different directions. Everyone went somewhere else. And then we kind of came together. We got some Chinese food and we relaxed and just kind of like took a breath because it's a lot,
Dude, it is a lot. And it's funny because, I feel like we're just doing this show for other podcasters now, but I'm fine with that because like, I watch stuff now. Like it's so funny because I'll watch interviews on like that'll show up on Twitter where they're like, this host screwed the pooch. They did a terrible, like, what was it? I didn't even watch it yet, but how I've been seeing this thing going around that like Bert Kreischer really screwed the pooch when he tried to talk to Adam Sandler on the comedy live thing or whatever. And it's so funny because doing a show, even though the one I normally do is either this one, which, you're my first guest ever, or the other one I do, the Untrained Eye, the Untrained Eye with my wife, like just doing the show with my wife is hard sometimes. And I say stupid things sometimes. So I have an added layer of sympathy and I'm like, he didn't do that bad. Like, it's just not as bad as everybody thinks it is because you can kind of like see the code of like, all right, this is what I would feel like if I was freaking out because I saw Adam Sandler. Even though I'm a seasoned professional, I don't know how to gather myself. And it's crazy because it's something you wouldn't really know you don't get until you realize you don't get it. Right. If that makes sense.
And even now, I think it's, something like that is being exacerbated because everyone's locked inside and everyone
Oh yeah.
nobody has the external stressors that we need from everyday life to kind of keep us sane. So arguments on the internet are becoming more and more prevalent as the quarantine continues. Like I don't know if you're familiar with how like the human psyche and the human brain was developed, but like while um, evolving, humans were being chased by jaguars. Like you need external stressors to keep your brain safe. Like you need it's a problem solver. If you don't give it problems, it's gonna find problems to solve. And
Yes.
it's not gonna do it in a nice way. So that's why people go running and they do martial arts and they go to the gym and they push themselves super hard. And it's like the nastiest, most brutal motherfuckers on the planet are the nicest ones. Like, Daniel Cormier, the dude that could literally pick you up and break you in half, like snap your back like Bane did
Yeah.
Batman. Like
Yeah.
he's a fucking cupcake because he has external stressors like a motherfucker. That's why every wrestler, might have a little bit of an attitude, but like they're a honey pie, because like the human brain, like you need stressors. Okay. You need that workout. You need that endorphin rush of like problem solving and dire consequences. You need to be like fighting off Attila the Hun and shooting jaguars in the face with fucking sticks and rocks and shit. Otherwise, your brain is going to be like, I don't like the way that Oprah did this thing. I'm going to, and you're going crazy. And then like, that's why like, outrage culture is so prevalent now because all of these soft motherfuckers, all these people that don't do anything will just go on Twitter and be like, Adam didn't win round 2 of the fucking podcast at a round table. He did this and blah, 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 blah. Like that. And then it'll just exacerbate itself and you keep it rolling and your brain feeds off of that.
Well, and you don't even realize it's happening because it's not only, like you said, like not stressing, but like physically exerting yourself in a certain way. Like I said, when I was doing construction for all those years, like I was beating myself to death every day. I didn't have time to be angry at anyone at the end of the day. I was just like, I need to take a shower, maybe eat some food, and then just make out with my pillow all night long.
Right.
But that's the other thing that I've come to realize in the past, I would say 2 or 3 years is I don't think people also don't realize that how much their diet can affect their mood. Because I notice when I eat terribly, I'm in a worse mood overall. I can't think straight. Like it's crazy. Like I cut carbs out for a long time. And once I introduced them again, it was like my body didn't know what to do with it. And my brain didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, because like, your body converts that to sugar and it's a satiator. And your body's like, okay, I guess like we're gonna be okay. Fuck it, I don't care. I don't need anything else. I just want that sugar because it makes me feel good. I really love that shit. Like you give me more of that shit. Can I have some cheese and some bread and some sugar? Can I have that? You can give me a little scoop of peanut butter. Thanks, I need that. I really want that. You want to know why? Because I fucking love it. Fuck you. I hate everyone else. Give me that shit. You're addicted to sugar. I'm clearly addicted to sugar. You see how fast I put that fucking coffee down?
Come on, son.
Dude. What are we even fucking talking about here? I try and cut dairy out as much as possible for the very same reason, even though I'm a PCL, the majority of my profession is dictated by cheese and by dairy. I don't drink dairy. And if I have cheese, it's to try a pizza that I just made. And I really very seldom eat it otherwise.
You're the Sam Malone of pizza making.
Because it's dangerous, man. It's like it's really bad, and like I could only imagine how crazy it would be to be addicted to like cigarettes again. Now knowing what my psyche is, like I smoked cigarettes in the past. Like I smoke a cigar every now and then, but like it doesn't get that endorphin rush, and it's just like, and then when you don't have it, your brain's like, give me my fucking candy. I want it. I want my fucking. I want my fucking pacifier. Give it to me. Otherwise, I'm going to be a fucking dickhead. Like there's, and it's not to say that you shouldn't have everything in moderation, right? But you can't rely solely on that. Like people who eat like fucking grilled cheeses 17 times a day, like they're miserable. And there's a reason they're miserable. No, it's not. Oh, my job, and oh, my girlfriend's a bitch, and this one and that one, and I didn't get my bowl that I wanted because my brother took it from me, and blah blah blah. This and that. Like, dude, no, you just like all your internal clock, your gears and your gizmos and your gadgets inside of you are all gummed up with fucking disgusting molecules of grossness, and you need to satiate yourself in other ways. You have to go like drink a glass of water and then like go for a run.
Yeah, well, and you make excuses for yourself, because when I was eating terribly for so long, I would get, so tired by like 3 p.m. And I'm like, all I would say is, even after I had eaten like 2 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's, I'm like, man, I'm not getting enough sleep.
Right.
There's
exactly.
no way it's these delicious burgers. I'm just not sleeping enough.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's not this fucking 15 ounces of bullshit grade B fucking beef that I just put in my body, and all this like MC fucking 5 food coloring cheese that I just sucked down into my face, and these disgusting soppy pickles, and these fucking Monsanto fucking sesame seeds that I got on top. It's not that. It's because I'm not sleeping enough. No, jackass. It's because your body's trying to get nutrients and you're not putting it in there. Go eat a piece of fruit, you jack fuck.
Dude, I'm not advocating any specific diet, but
I don't know what a jack fuck is, by the way.
It's what we all are. But whenever I switched, I did keto for a while, and I would imagine this would happen whenever you cut out anything. So I'm not saying it for keto, but once I cut bread and sugar out like completely, I remember that first month or two, like I had so much energy, I thought that there was a problem because I couldn't sleep. Like I felt like I felt it coming out of my fingers. Like it was insane. And it's like, oh, it was in those first few months that I realized, I'm like, it was not the amount of sleep. I feel better. I feel like I could do a cartwheel now, even though I'm still like, 235 pounds. Like I've got all the energy in the world. I don't know, man. How do we get off on this?
I mean, it's a conversation, whatever. And obviously, I am not a nutritionist. I just worked in a juice bar. I know what you should put in your body. I know that if you're deriving energy from fats instead of from sugars, that you're going to hit ketosis quicker, and working in ketosis, if that is something that your blood type can operate in, I think it's something that you should do. That being said, I'm a pizza guy. I literally, my entire job is to create delicious bread covered in cheese with sauce and meats and things, that's why my name is Bread Durst. What's up? But again, all things in moderation. Like you can have bread every once in a while for sure, but like you shouldn't be eating cheeseburgers every single day. And as much as I love a fucking cheeseburger, as much as I want a fucking cheeseburger, actually, matter of fact, I might make a cheeseburger tonight just for fucking shits and gigs.
It's been a while. You should treat yourself.
For fucking real. I deserve it, god damn it.
Dude, it's the thing where you I've heard it spoken on before, but where your brain is too stupid to know that it's everywhere and you can get it whenever you want. So it's like, I need it, put it all in. If we don't get any more, then we'll have enough for later. And later never comes.
Right.
It's just
exactly
always shoving it in your face.
A little bit of mouth pleasure, man. You're just fucking destroying your body. I was 260 pounds at one point in my life, dude. I was a big boy, I was rotund, at 5'10". That's a lot.
Dude, 235 at 5'3". So suck it.
You're fucking boy. Look out. Old fucking Augustus glute over here.
Dude, I did just roll everywhere. There was
hey, look, you know what it is then. But I was real fat for a real long time, and I didn't lose the weight in a healthy way. So, I got a hold of some steroids. I got clenbuterol. I got a thing that was called Clembrex, and I got it at GNC, and I thought it was totally super okay. And then I dropped down to about 170 pounds, and I was like, yeah, it's totally normal, bro. Whatever. This shit just works. What's up? It's ephedrine and like, no, actually, it's steroids, young man. So I was like riding my bike 2 miles to the gym every day, running for 15 miles, and then riding my bike back 2 miles every day.
Jesus.
After taking like 3 milliliters of clenbuterol. It's basically meth. It's meth that makes you poop. So you're just like having the most violent stomach reactions to everything you eat. You can't eat. And then your heart begins to have palpitations. There was a time, I remember this very vividly. I was in a retro fitness in West Long Branch, New Jersey, and I was running, right? And I was at mile 2 on my normal 15-mile run. And I looked down and my heart was going like this.
No.
And you could see it popping out as I was wearing Under Armour because obviously I fucking lift. What's up, bro? And you could see it popping out, and I was like, "Oh, that's probably not good. My fucking heart hurts." And I was like, "All right, after I finish this run, I'm gonna totally look into this." So then I just did my 15-mile run, and by mile 4, I was like, I was fine. I was like, "Oh, I guess that was fucking nothing. Whatever." And I just kept going, and then it kept happening. And every day at mile 2, I would look down and it was like, I was like, hey, man, that's probably not great.
Did you ever find out what that was? Like if that was real or if you were
No, it was real. It was real. So clenbuterol was taking off of the market. Well, so clenbuterol is an illegal illicit substance and it's a steroid. But Clenbutrex, the substance I was taking, that clenbuterol was the main ingredient of, Clenbutrex was taken off of the market because it gave people heart attacks.
All of this sounds like stuff to keep dogs from having fleas and ticks on their body.
I mean, pretty much, pretty much. And I'm very, very open about this. I have IBS, like I have irritable bowel syndrome now, and it is directly tied to taking 2 rounds of fucking clenbuterol, because I took the first one and I was like, fuck, dude, if I lost 50 pounds, imagine how much weight I can lose now that I'm getting skinny. What's up? So I fucking ran it back, Jack. I was like, hey, like I was talking to my friend Boobis, who is a good friend of mine, my friend Rob. And I was like, yo, so I'm starting this thing. Or I did this a round of clenbuterol and I lost like 50 pounds. And he goes, what? I want to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to get some. And he was like, oh, they were buy one, get one free. Do you want one? And I was like, yeah, I do. Okay, let's do that. So then I did that. And now your boy is fucking destroyed. But I totally lost all that weight in a really unhealthy way. And I miss it every single day. I looked great. I had abs for the first time in my life. And the girl that broke up with me because I was too fat saw me in public, and she was real jealous. She was like, you're never going to have abs. And then when I saw her, I was like, check it out. I got abs. And she was like, you look great, Ad. And I was like, I know I do, bitch. Get the fuck away from me. I got to go for a run. I can't go to sleep now. So if you took clenbuterol, so you would have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. If you took it after 7 a.m., you couldn't sleep the night later. It was like.
So you were on meth.
It was meth.
The story.
It was meth. Yeah, it was meth, and it was delicious, and it was great, and it destroyed my stomach, but I still had my teeth. So,
which is a win.
Hey guys, if you have clenbuterol,
don't.
Let me know. Also, I mean, while we're on the subject, if you want to do what's called a legal super stack, you can get this medication called Broncaid, which is like a flu medication. You can go and get Broncaid, and then you take like a baby Tylenol. I think it's a baby Tylenol or baby aspirin. I forget which one it is, but you take one of those and a Broncaid, and then half a cup of coffee, like 6 ounces of coffee, and you sip that. That's steroids.
Okay, well, there was a part of that where you said, I don't know which one it is, so no one do that.
I think it's the Tylenol. So if you take the baby Tylenol with the Broncaid, it dehibits the we need Jason Almy. I think it's the glycogen or something that like it turns it into steroids, and then you just need like a little caffeine kick to like push it a little farther than it's supposed to be. And you just have one of those, and then you're just like, yeah, it's time to go, baby. Yeah. So if you're ever running low on the roids, just do the Bronchade stack, and you can do that. So I did that for a little bit too. That was kind of cool. Yeah. So I like have a really addictive personality. I don't know if you know or not. I don't know if you've put 2 and 2 together, but your boy likes to put substances in his body and see how it works.
I'm glad that I didn't. I had plenty of opportunity. Like I had a buddy of mine when I was in high school. He didn't tell me until after we finished the joint that he had sprinkled cocaine in it.
Ooh,
and I was like,
that's no fun.
Well, here's the thing. It was no fun that he didn't tell me about it, but to this day, that was the best high of
of course
life.
It was. Yeah, of course it was.
And it was funny because I was like, first I was calling him to be like, what was that? Like, I need to know what that is so I can get more of it. And then he told me what it was. And I was like I at least had the presence of mind to be like, I can't ever do coke. I can't do anything because I love this. I love it. And I want to always
super delicious. That shit is delicious. Bro, if you take, well, I don't know what they're putting in Xanax now. That shit is a little crazy, but if you take old Xanax, like a half a bar, and then you smoke a blunt, oh my goodness. Oh, dude, that was a time. That was a time. I'd once dated a girl who had she had rheumatoid arthritis, and she couldn't sleep because her bones hurt and shit. So they gave her Soma. So I was freaking out one night and I was having a panic attack, and she was just like, you should take one of my Xanax. And I was like, okay. So I went and I grabbed and I threw it in. I cracked it. I cracked the thing and I threw it in my mouth. And she goes, that wasn't a Xanax. And I was like, are you sure? Because I think it was. And she goes, that was a Soma. And I was like, what's a Soma? She goes, have fun. So I just like was rolling around in the backyard for 4 hours at midnight, like looking at the stars, like, oh my God, dude, I know why people do drugs for fun now. This is great. Like, oh man, can I have another one? She's like, no.
Those love it too much.
I need those so that I could stand up. And I'm like, bitch, sit down. Give me one, please. That shit was fun, dude. God, that shit was fun.
Drugs.
I'm gonna bring. Allegedly, I may or may not be bringing some DMT with me when I come down for the Super Bowl. So
yeah, dude, I will definitely not be stopping by then because you're talking to a guy who's only smoked weed and coke in a blunt once. So
it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're gonna go talk to Jesus. We're gonna go talk to the angels in them. Don't sweat it.
All right, you might be the wrong person to ask, but I'm going to ask you because you might give me the answer that I want, because everyone gives me the wrong answer. I want to do mushrooms very desperately, but I have this thing where I want to do it by myself. Like, I don't want anyone to see me. I don't want anyone to know what happens to me.
It's a super personal practice, and as long as you come at it like medicinally, like that it's a medicine, and that it's going to elicit a response in your body that is going to be beneficial for you, then you're going to be okay. Like when you take Tylenol, you don't think this isn't going to fix my headache, right? Like you think that, hey, my headache is going to go away. So when you take like any medicine, Pepto or whatever, you're not like, oh, this is going to make me shit more. It's going to be like, oh, this is going to fix my boo-boo belly. When you take mushrooms, it can like recreational mushroom. There is no such thing as recreational mushrooms. Okay. Because the second you think that it's a toy and that it's like for funsies and it's not going to be like earth shattering to you, then you're going to have a bad time. And then you're not only, okay, so you could not have a bad time and learn something and it can be great. Those are the best kind of trips for you. So
wait, so what do you feel about like heroic doses?
That's so much, dude. 5 grams. The 5 grams is too many grams, dude. It's too many. It's so many. You should do 2 grams of mushrooms on your, do 1 gram of mushrooms on your first time. for sure. And work your way up to it. It's like, hey, have you ever been skiing before? Are you going to go on a double black diamond with one ski? Like, oh, Graham Hancock does it all the time. Well, motherfucker, he has got 17 Olympic medals. You know, like he knows how to fucking go down a hill. You know, because that shit can go down fast, Jack. Ooh, so you've never like done acid or anything like that?
No.
Have you gotten so high that you've tripped balls?
Okay, I've had two things. I've only had two weird instances getting high. One, I think when I was in college, someone had put something in whatever we were smoking because I took like 2 hits off of this bowl and everything had trails for like hours. I just couldn't focus. Every time I would move, everything was just trailed out.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I don't know if that was
sounds a little like an acid trip, but go on.
None of it felt good or cool or like there was no. I don't know what I expected acid to be, but it wasn't that. And if that's what it was, then I'm not a fan. But
well, that's because you didn't know you were taking it. So that you were like, this is new to me. I don't know what this is. I've never been here before.
Well, because I had been high, like I got high a lot, and so much so.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. You know how we do. No, like it's so funny because I thought I was like a big baller when I went to college, and my first day there, the guy that lived next door to me in the dorms was like, "Hey, do you want to get high?" And I was like, "Of course I do." And he was like, "I have this bong here. We can smoke out of this bong." And I had never smoked out of a bong before, but I had smoked a lot, so I was like, "Well, I can do anything. It was like a 1.5 foot bong, and I just took the whole thing to the head. And I was like, I don't know if I said anything, but I was just like, gotta go. And I left and I went into my room and tried to go to sleep and vomited everywhere.
Yeah, bongs are tricky, dude. They really are. They're super spooky. There's so many different ways, you know, dude. Okay, so back to you taking mushrooms. You have to, and I mean, this goes for any illicit substance. Anything that you put in your body, you have to understand the consequences and the cause that, like the things that you're going to put in your body. You need to know what responses they're going to elicit. So I would only take mushrooms if I'm going like super deep meditation. You eat how? Okay, so do you eat edibles?
No.
Okay, well, you're fucking up. 1, 2, Jason Almey's going to bring edibles for you, and 3, start eating edibles. So you can build a framework of what's going to happen if you start taking edibles. If you do like 10 milligrams of an edible, you know, one little and pop it in your mouth. You don't have to go fucking crazy on some Joey Diaz shit, on some Bobby Light shit, and take fucking 500 milligrams and then like go on a unicycle down the Garden State Parkway. You don't have to do shit like that. That shit, you like, what are you fucking proving here, dude? But if you take 7 to 15 milligrams of an edible, and then you just kind of like hang out in your comfort zone, you be in your place, like you kind of see where it's going. And then you wait like an hour and then it like hits you and then you start to roll and then you start to get into the fucking thing. You're going to be okay. Because you know that it's weed. You know that nobody's ever died from weed ever in the history of time. You're like, this is a place I've been before. This is okay. And then it'll start to turn on you.
Did you almost say this is a simulation?
I mean, kind of. So, okay, now that we're talking about doing drugs that we didn't intend to do.
Yes.
And this is Chris Watsky's favorite story about me. I inadvertently smoked peyote for 6 months.
Okay, I've listened to most of I thought I listened to all of the Inner Circle sports shows, but I've heard the commercial of that, but I have not heard that story.
Okay. So do you know what spice is? Like K2 and Happy Shaman? Okay,
yes.
So there was a period of time where I was being drug tested for work, and a friend of mine introduced me to Happy Shaman, and it was a spice and it got you high. And I was like, okay, dope. I love being high. This is going to be sick. So I did. And then I kept doing it. And then for the next 6 months, I was smoking peyote. Okay.
Like synthetic, how like, or just straight up?
There was, I'm not really sure, but I was looking up all of my symptoms and it was like, you are for sure doing peyote. And I was like, are you for really reals? They were like, look, this one thing happens only on peyote. And I was like, what? That happens to me like 3 times a day. And they were like, yep, you're fucking stupid. I was like, sick. So that ruined weed for me for a while because I thought it was like, oh, if I get high, I'm going to go back to this place. Now, when I go to that place that I was in when I was smoking the spice, I love it because I understand where I was going. It was terrifying at the time because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh my God, like I'm in this place and there's a thing and there's this and that and blah, blah, blah.
I feel like it's the difference between going to a rickety looking carnival and going to Disneyland. Like your rickety carnival was your spice and your Disneyland was your like, this is regulated.
Yeah. So I was actively dreaming while I was awake. I was stuck in a perpetual state of deja vu 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If anyone plays Apex Legends, I was Wraith. I knew everything that was going to go on as it was going on a million different ways. I was like, yep, it's either going to go here or here. It's going to do this or it's going to do this. So the story about me going to see the Yankees, I would constantly have to put myself in situations that I'd never been in before. I bought new shirts and put them on, and then I would like cut a hole in them or put mustard on it. I needed like an anchor, like in Inception. I needed something to tether me back to reality because I would work my way into a frenzy thinking like, oh my God, I've been here 1,000 times before. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. Why can't I go back to Earth? Kind of stuff. So I would constantly be doing stuff like that. So my friend that introduced A-Glass, shout out to A, I love you. You fucked up my whole life. But I mean, you're my sweetie pie and we're Jets fans. So that's what it is. So he was like, hey, I'm going to go to a Yankee game with a bunch of people you've never met. Like, do you two want to come with me? And I was like, yeah, totally. Like, I want to be in that situation. So we obviously smoked fucking Happy Shaman legally in the middle of a park. Right. And then we got on the train. I remember getting out of my friend's white Honda Civic. He parked in the train station in Red Bank. I ran and then I stopped and then I turned around and I saw 3 versions of my friends walking towards me. And I went, oh, Dustin's going to go to the left. A-Glass is going to go to the right. Or they're not, but they probably are. And then they did. And I was like, oh, fuck. Here we are again.
Did you know that this was a spice at the time? Like, did they call it that? Or were they just like, we have this shaman, whatever?
No, they were like, oh, it's a potpourri. We're selling it as a potpourri. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to smoke this and put it in my body.
And by this point, I mean, clearly you were too far gone for this to have the thought. But like, had anyone eaten anyone's face yet on spice?
No, not at all. No, this was super, super early in this. And I think even after all of the face eating happened after they changed the recipe to it because it got shut down initially. And then they changed it to reintroduce it back as K2 or whatever. And then that's when people started eating each other's faces and shit.
Dude, by the way, that still goes on. There is a actually they just got shut down and reopened a gas station not far from where I work where the guy is like, yeah, they'll still sell you spice. Like you have to ask for it, but you can get it.
Yeah. I mean, my friend A-Glass bought literally an entire gas station's worth of Happy Shaman. He was like, I want all the flavors. I'm going to buy them all. I don't care. And they were like, okay, here. And he would just have boxes and boxes and boxes of it. So he was like, fuck it. Like, we're going to smoke this shit. It's going to be fun. So anyway, I'm stuck in a perpetual state of deja vu. And then when I smoked weed, I went into this different place. I went to a place that I had been a million times before that I didn't recognize. Okay. It was this. Just follow me here. The way that my brain interpreted it is that I was in a vehicle with 2 entities that I had met. They were both, one was sitting here and one was sitting here. And in the vehicle, the window was open around us. It was kind of like a stretch limo with the crazy windows, you know? Mm-hmm. So the windows were open and I would look at one and I would speak one language and I would look at the one here and speak a different language. And we were all interacting, right? Now when I get high and I go to that place, I'm like, oh, I'm at the place. Like, this is what's up. Bop, 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 bop. We're here. We're going to learn a lesson because I've, trained myself to understand that maybe I'm on my way towards source, or I'm on my way towards the knowing, or whatever kind of, however you want to, word it, whatever.
So wait. What did they, you said beings. What did they look like? Did they look like people? Were they light? Were they aliens?
It was like geometric patterns shaped. So I equated it in my brain to one kind of look like a duck and one kind of look like a robot.
But
so
like a Scanner Darkly duck and robot, or
yes,
something else?
Yes,
okay.
For sure. Yeah, it was like different, like an amalgamation of geometric shapes. But
just looking
one
like
was
everything
here.
and nothing.
Yeah, one was here and one was here. And I would be like, oh, beep boop 109. And then quack, quack, quack. And they would be like, yep, we totally get what you get. Like, we understand what you're saying here, dog. And we were like driving through like this interdimensional fucking city where there was like beams of light and like everywhere. And like when I was there, when I was freaking out, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And they were like, just relax. We love you. It's okay. This is fine. And I was like, no, you don't. You don't love me. If you love me, you would send me back home. And they were like, you need to be here. There's a lesson to be learned here. And I was like, no, there's not. You can't teach me anything. You're a robot and a duck. What the fuck are you talking about? I know everything that there is to know about robots and ducks. And I learned it while I was on Earth. I want to go back to Earth. And they were like, dude, relax. Take it easy. We're just what you want us to be. And I was like, I want you to be away. So then I stopped getting high totally. And then I slowly reintroduced it back into my system. And then every once in a while, when I take an edible and I like meditate and I relax, like I'll take an edible and I'll go like do the isolation chambers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to go back into that place.
Have you been back?
I've been back. Yeah. And then now it's like, hey, dude, where you been? I'm like, oh my God, I missed you guys so much. Like,
so wait, do you understand them now? Did you understand them before, other than they were like, it's cool, don't freak out? Did anything else happen besides the freak out? Or
it was just me freaking out, man. It was me freaking out. And then when I was here, like the first like 20 minutes of me starting to go into that like interdimensional portal was me reliving a situation as I was actively living it. So like I was in the car. This is okay. So shout out to A-Glass. This is his favorite story about me. It was me, him, and Sweet D. We were in the car. And it was around the same time we went to that Yankees game. And I'm sitting in the back of D's Sweet D's white Honda Civic. And I'm sitting there and we're smoking, whatever. We're sitting in a parking lot in Red Bank, as all New Jersey kids do. And he puts on this song and he goes, hey, like, I want you to hear this song from my friend's band. They just released it. And I knew what the chorus was. And I was like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. He's like, how do you know the song? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. He's like, dude, like this is, I was like, I don't know. This is like the melody and this is how it's gonna go. Like whatever it was. And I was like, I gotta go. And he goes, and he just busts out his BlackBerry and he goes, are you okay? And I'm like, no. And he goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it? And I went, 11. And that is like his favorite thing ever, is that I went 11. So when things are bad, they're 11 bad. So that was like 11 bad. That was like the worst. And then I went home and then I went into that place and started like freaking out. And that was one of the first times I had like went into that zone where the entities were, you know?
So the spice is what, was it just the spice alone that was bringing you there, or was it other stuff on top of it?
No, it was just the spice, because I was a fucking square. I'm still kind of a square. I'm not going to be like going out of my way to do like cocaine and all types of crazy shit. Like I don't want to do drugs, you know what I mean? But like I am willing to go to Peru and do ayahuasca and like, you know, go through a medicinal journey that way. You know, like now I see these illicit substances as like gateways to help unlock things within me so that I can help those around me, kind of on some woo-woo white people shit.
So I got to know then, how did you get to see and talk to them again? And what did you guys talk about?
Through meditation, eating an edible and going in an isolation chamber. And it was like, hey, dude, you're doing great. You just got to keep doing what what you want to do, and don't do shit that you don't want to do. And I was like, that's fucking dumb. And he's like, isn't it? Isn't that the dumbest thing ever? But it's not. It's totally smart. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. And he goes, uh-huh, I know, but it does. And I went, yeah, I guess it does make sense, right? Like, do the stuff that you want to do and don't do the stuff that you don't want to do. It's that simple. And he goes, uh-huh. All right, I'll see you later. Go look at that stuff. And I was like, what stuff? And then I turned back around and then they weren't there. And I was just like, damn it. They did it again. Those rapscallions. And ever since I hit that point where I was like meditating actively and trying to, do that, get into that headspace. I quit my desk job. I stopped wearing shirt and tie and sitting in a cubicle and crunching numbers and shit. And now I'm a pizza guy and I wear sweatpants because I fucking want to.
Well, you said BlackBerry, so that was what, like 10 years ago?
Yeah. So that moment where I was in the float tank was probably about 5 years ago. Yeah, probably about 5 years ago now. And I had really, really bad anxiety, and I lost a shit ton of weight because of my anxiety. And I was sitting in traffic all day, and I was driving up in North Jersey and sitting in 3 hours of traffic there and 3 hours back. And it was just like, I hated my fucking life. Like, I'm not built for fucking sitting at a desk. I'm barely built for sitting fucking still during a podcast. You've seen how often I'm fucking moving around and I'm moving my legs and doing this and doing that. I'm that fucking ADHD kid in class. You know what I mean? I need input at all times because I'm fucking psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not psychotic. Like, it's not psychotic that you have ADHD and that that
you're in a safe space here. You can call anyone crazy you want.
Right. I mean, I'm only referring to myself here, but I needed to do what I wanted to do. And what did I want to do at that time? I was like, I want to work in a kitchen again. Like, I just want to make food because food makes me happy. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I don't want to fucking do anything other than like work on a hotline and serve people and give people something that I've created. My art is food, and I want to facilitate that for people. I didn't understand that when I was like, hey, I want to go work in the kitchen again. It was like, hey, food is safe for me. I know how to do it. I know that I can make a good amount of money doing it. So I sat down, I was calling around all my friends because I have a lot of friends in the industry. And a friend of mine was like, hey, I just started working at this kitchen a couple of months ago and they're looking for help. And I was like, yes, immediately. Thank you. I'll be right there. So I the very next day, I got all dressed up real nice and then went and did an interview with a chef. And during my interview, this short little Peruvian guy was screaming at the top of his lungs, leaving the kitchen. Fuck you, fuck this, you're a cunt, blah, blah, blah. I hate you. This place is fucking bullshit. You can keep your coat, you can keep your fucking hat. I'm gonna fucking kill everyone here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this is like during my interview process, by the way. And
Had you ever worked in a kitchen before that?
Yeah. Okay. But this guy was storming out, like going fucking crazy. And I was like, I guess that's a good sign. Like, what's up with that guy? And he goes, oh, I told him he can't do Coke here anymore because we're a corporate catering kitchen. This isn't a fucking restaurant. And I went, oh, so he's not like stoked about that, huh? Like,
I worked in a restaurant for like a little over a year, so that's why I asked, because I was like, oh, that sounds like just like every month that happens. Like,
that's like a regular. Yeah, that's like, that's a Friday rush. That ain't shit. Yeah. But this was a corporate catering kitchen. This was like, you need a shirt, you need the little fucking dumb Varuk beanie, pressed pants, like the whole thing. It was in a giant office in a giant tech building. And it was a really good opportunity. It was like all days. It was 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. No nights, no weekends, paid leave, paid overtime, paid vacation, and you got benefits and everything like that. So it was a corporate job, but you were just cooking. And I was like, oh, this sounds perfect. It's a great transition from the corporate world back into the culinary world, corporate catering, whatever. So I'm sitting down and I'm like, okay, so that's is everyone like that here? And he was like, no, it's just that guy. He's nuts. but he was my pizza guy. Do you know how to make pizza? And I was like, no, I don't. I'm terrible at making pizza. Like I've done it at home, like where I've just stretched dough and like torn it and made it look fucking like all fucked up. And he goes, well, look, like if you want to learn how to make pizza, like I need a pizza guy. So like, do you want this job? And I was like, I would love a job here. Thanks. And so this chef, Joe and Brenda, shout out to the guy who taught me how to make pizza, who's also nuts. He's just a little nuts. So my chef sat me down every single day, and it was just like it was going to fucking school. And he was like, this is how you do this. This is how you do that. And he and I have a very similar personality. So he was just like, I need you to stop being retarded, and I need you to start being unretarded. And I'm like, understood. Here we go. We're going to do this. So while he was showing me how to make pizza, he was also running the kitchen because he was the head chef at the place. So I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the process, and then I didn't know why I was so happy. I just knew that this was like what I wanted to do. Like I just wanted to create I wanted to, because I've always been an artist. I always just wanted to, like, this is a very subjective art.
Yeah.
Well, I can create it and then I could just give it to people and they're like, okay, cool. Here you go. Like, there you go. And then I stopped. Like I got a promotion and then moved over to another section where I was like running a bigger section of the kitchen. And I was like doing like small plates and salads and like pastas and things like that. And it was a lot more prep work and it was fun. It was great because it was like, I got to do different things all day long, but it wasn't making pizza. I was just like, I'm not doing what I want to do. And I got real sad and I got real upset again. And then I lost a bunch of weight and I was just like, fuck, I need to fucking do what I want to do. Like I got to just do what I want to do and not do what I don't want to do. Like, it's that simple. So I'm looking on Indeed or whatever. And they're like, new pizza restaurant opening up, need a pizzaiole ASAP. And I was like, dope. I'm one of those. Boop, 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 boop. So I fucking called this guy up and I was like, hey dude, like, are you guys around? And he was like, yeah, like show up on a Wednesday. I was like, okay, cool. So I showed up coming home from work. I just drove right over there and I sat down with this guy and he was like, hey, like, I have, like, he's got Michelin stars. He, went to culinary school in Italy. Like he's a big, this guy is a big fucking deal. He ran the New York Hotel's kitchen for years. He's like a fucking primo supremo guy. And his partner is like one of the biggest fucking restaurateurs in San Francisco who has 2 Michelin stars, which is like Super Bowl rings. These motherfuckers got 3 Super Bowl rings apiece. Right. So these are like super bad motherfuckers. So I sat down with the first guy and we just talked for 3 hours about how great pizza was and how much we both love pizza. And he was like, hey, okay, cool. I'll see you on Monday. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you have the job. I was like, okay, dope. I didn't know what I should wear, what time I should show up. I didn't know what I was getting paid. I didn't know where I was going to be, like how many hours I was going to be working. I just knew I was going to be making pizza and I was going to be doing it with someone who loved pizza. So I was like, dope, cool. Shook his hand. I was like, fucking see you, nerd. You got these, he's got 2 fucking $15,000 ovens sitting back there, these Forza 40 ovens that are like, okay, dude, you know how like some people want to buy like a motorcycle or like a Corvette? Mm-hmm. That's what I want. I want to buy a Forza 40 oven, like a wood fire giant pizza oven. And it just, that's what my goal is. If I lived in a fucking shack, but I had one of those, I would be like, that's like perfect for me. So I got together with my chef now, Rich Corbo, and he and I am a savage when it comes to like toppings and stuff like that. Like I just want to put everything on everything. And he's just like, there are 3 ingredients that go on pizza. And one of them is cheese and one of them is sauce. The other one is olive oil. Go fuck yourself. Like you can put basil on it sometimes. And I was like, I'm going to make a buffalo chicken pizza and a cheesesteak pizza. And I'm going to put pineapple on pizza. And I just want you to be okay with that. So he and I are, have built this weird collaboration. And that is now his restaurant. And like, I run the pizza program at his restaurant and I couldn't be fucking happier. And now that I don't have pizza, I'm going fucking crazy and I'm talking on and on and on. I'm running on and on and on about nothing.
No, it's not about nothing.
I'm going fucking crazy, DJ.
I think like that is, I don't really, I mean, you probably don't, because I feel like you can go deep with yourself, if that makes sense. Like you can be a thoughtful person about what's going on with you and in the world, but I don't think a lot of people have that passion about what they do. Like I would be surprised if one person listening to this episode now feels the same way about what they do for a living. I would be
Yeah.
shocked.
Like, what do you want to do? What did you always want to do when you were growing? Okay,
That's
so here's a better way to frame it. What are you going to do when you retire?
you know what's crazy is I am one of those people that is frustrating to everyone because I don't know
Weird
what I
flex,
would
but okay.
I don't know what I don't know what I would do. I don't know. Like up until it would honestly it's so stupid because every podcaster says it, but it would be podcasting because up until doing this, like almost 2 years ago we started on the Untrained Eye, and I it's something that doesn't ever have to end because I was realizing today that I'm really good at starting projects and never finishing them.
Right.
And the podcast is something that there is no end. It never
Right.
ends. It just
It's a
keeps
never
going.
ending. Yeah.
And even if it does end, you could just start back from episode 1 and go all over again.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe B.
There you go. Listen, I'm waiting for season 3. I know it's happening.
We all do too. Don't worry,
dude. He's coming back. I will be his co-host if need be. Or he should just do a solo show. Come on, son.
Well, I mean, where he just gets drunk and high and yells about anime. Yeah, I know. I've been telling him for fucking years.
Dude,
it would be incredible. He'd be like, One Punch is not as good as fucking Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. So what would you do if you were retired? Like, what is your plan?
I don't know. I would hope to be, all the stupid answers financially, not having to worry about anything.
No. Don't worry about finance. What do you want to do?
I would like to do, what's funny is I would like to, really, I would just like to do this. Like I would like to do it in person rather than over the internet.
Right.
But I would just like to talk to interesting people that have interesting stories, or even people that might not on the outside seem to have an interesting story that you're like, oh, I am super interested in this. Like what was it? Bert Kreischer had that windsurfer or the free diver on. And I was like, I just listened to all of his podcasts anyway, because he was the first show I ever heard of. So I'm like, okay, I'll go with you. I don't know why this is going to be interesting, but come on.
Well, I mean, hey, Joe Rogan's doing it, right?
And and that's it. Is like Joe Rogan. I always hate to bring him up too, because everyone's like, oh, everybody loves Joe. But what was it?
That's man Oprah, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a fucking really weird flex, but I've been listening to him since like fucking episode 89 or whatever the fuck it is. It's amazing that he's turned a fledgling television career into being the most influential talk show host on the planet.
Maybe of all time.
Yeah.
Or at least up until now. Because I don't, people call him the Carson of our day, but I think his reach is much wider, and he's got more influence. Look at what happened with him and Bernie. But anyway, so it's like, I get to, because I used to be or at least I thought of myself as like a super right-wing guy. And it's because of guys like Joe Rogan having the kinds of people on that he has that I'm like, oh, I can hear someone that thinks differently than me, and they're not stupid because they think different. They're just smart in a different way. And turns out I was dumb the whole time.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice feeling? You were like, oh, I'm fucking retarded.
It's
like,
kind of
real stupid.
People are very apprehensive to be like, I am very stupid on this subject, but I got to tell you, it is a great place to be, because all you can do is go up from there.
Right. Exactly. It's so good. It's such a good feeling, man. Learning something for the first time is the best. And once you learn how to learn things, you're just like, you're fucking firing off at that point, man.
And that's why I would like to do something like this or something adjacent to this, because it's
why not?
I don't know. This is the first step into that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, like, you fucking do it. You live in Florida. You can go around. You can go fucking interview the dude that plays Mickey Mouse at fucking Disney. That motherfucker will sit down and smoke cigarettes with you. He don't give a fuck. You can go around and do the whole thing, but you just do it and do it for love, and then people will appreciate it. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm really good at making pizza, but it's because I love it, because I love doing it. But I don't want to not have other good pizzaioli around me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to teach you how to make pizza, and then I want that to be the best pizza ever so that it forces me to be good at it. You
Right.
need to find that. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta just go drive to fucking Tampa and interview Chris, and then just go drive down to Miami and go get Pitbull and be like, Dale, you know what I mean? Like, just do everything that you fucking want to do because you want to do it, and don't do shit that you don't want to do. Like sitting around playing video games, not reading, like eating fucking greasy cheeseburgers and shit. All the shit that you think you want to do for the little minuscule pleasures of like that immediate the immediate pleasure receptors that you have in your brain. That shit is that is the fucking look, DJ. This is the way that they fucking control us. Okay. The reptilians want us to be fucking distracted by Instagram and by Facebook and arguing with each other and red versus blue and Yankees versus Boston and the Patriots and the San Francisco 49ers, and they want to drive wedges between every single one of us. They want us to be as fucking distracted as humanly possible. You need to mitigate your distractions and just do what you want to fucking do, because you being happy is healthy, and you being healthy is going to spread out to everyone else. Because I promise you, once Beth sees that you're doing things that you want to do, she's gonna be like, I always wanted to play the cello. Now I got this free time. I'm gonna start playing the fucking cello. And then motherfucker's gonna be goddamn #1 cello artist of all goddamn time because she wants to be. Whatever it is.
Yeah, no.
Even if it's like baking cookies or like going, doing whatever. You want to work on your car and be #1 fucking Johnny race car guy. Like, you do whatever the fuck you want to do because you want to fucking do it, and there should be no excuses.
No, I completely agree. Like, that is, speaking of Beth, like that is, I think me being so driven to do the untrained eye anyway with her is because I don't think she was sold to begin with. Like, I think she wanted to do it because she liked the idea of it, but I don't think if you asked her 10 episodes in if we were going to make it to 100, I think she would want to, but I don't know if she would be completely sold on it. And now, like, she genuinely wants to do it. And like you said about like okay, wait, before I say this, pizza aioli, please define.
Pizza cook, like pizza chef.
Okay.
Like I'm an assassin. I'm a specialist. I'm like a sushi guy. Like, like you make sushi.
Who was saying it? Was it you? What show was I listening to where you were talking about Euro Dreams of Sushi?
Oh, I fucking love that. Love that movie. That was probably Creatures. Oh, no,
I was
that was
shocked.
HTNOS. Yeah, it was HTNOS.
I was shocked because I watched that when it first came onto Netflix, and I watched that whole thing like in awe. But that's how I feel about podcasts, and like the people I try and surround myself in podcasting is when they have a great idea or they have a great show or whatever it is that that makes me go, I want to do that. Like, I know I love it because I don't get jealous. I'm like, ooh, I got to find my angle on that, or I got to see if they'll let me be a part of that. Like, I don't know. It was crazy. I got to be a part of Podcast of the Roundtable. I got to be asked to, our run, me and Beth on Winner's Circle was the product of a last minute, like, hey, can you guys fill in real quick?
Right. Exactly.
And it was like, okay, like, yeah, like, and it's,
here we are.
I don't know. It's good. I like it. It's,
you should look up the word, okay, so I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but it's spelled Shokunin.
Oh Jesus! Should I look it up right now?
Shokunin, and is defined by both Japanese and Japanese English dictionaries as craftsman, or artisan. But its literal description does not fully express the deeper meaning. The Japanese apprentices taught that the shoryuken means that not only having a technical skill, but it also implies the attitude and social consciousness in that skill. So you should like fully encompass, like throw yourself into what you love specifically for that. And that is a direct quote from Euro Dreams of Sushi. That's what they talk about in the beginning. That guy is an inspiration. The way that guy makes sushi is the way that we should all do what we love. And even if like doing what you love is fucking, you know what I mean? Be #1 fucking dick slinging guy. but do it and fucking love it, you know?
Be Don Juan.
Yeah, goddamn right.
I don't know if we should end here or keep going. I love talking to you, Adam.
Yeah, dude. We gotta do it more.
I think we will end it here just for the sake of
Time constraints.
Anyone who normally listens to this show is going to see the time code and be like, what? Did he accidentally upload all the episodes at once?
Yeah, your boy likes to talk, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Listen,
I go off tangents.
It's perfect. Like I had no idea what this like, not just even you and I, but just what this would end up being, and I loved it. So thank you.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for having me on, dude. I really, really appreciate it. I love being able to like sit down and just like talk and like fucking bullshit and not have it be like, oh, did you see that X and Y did this thing and blah, blah. Like, shut up. Nobody fucking gives a shit about that stuff, dude. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fucking flying fuck that nobody's playing basketball right now, dude. Shut up.
Yeah, we all know.
Sorry. You got a fucking dribble nose. I'm so sorry that you caught the boogeyman flu. Shut up. I don't want to fucking hear it. You know, fuck that shit. Everyone should just talk and have a fucking, and it's not even like this is a forced conversation. This is the conversation that you and I would have if we were smoking cigars, hanging out in a backyard.
Exactly.
You know, but that being said, I think that you should do that with a lot of people. You know,
I'm going to try. I'm going to start reaching out to the people I feel comfortable with and then start reaching out.
No, you got to talk. You got to reach out to like the other people first.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, dude, because you gotta open that fucking, take it from someone who has fucking an anxiety attack every time they step outside their front door. Like, you're only going to get better if you fucking step outside of that box. So just do it, and then just do it. There's no other excuse.
You're not wrong, because as soon as you were like, all right, I'll be there at 5, just rolling panic attacks until you came in.
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's why I was like, hey, what time do you want to do this? You were like, I don't know. Anytime's fun. Like, what time is it now? Okay. 5 minutes from now, dude, we're going to do that.
You asked, and I was like, oh, yeah, I probably should have done any planning for this at all.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, for sure, like, if you don't have a rapport with the person that you're sitting with, like, have a couple of questions. I'm not going to tell you how to do your fucking job, but, you know, if you just fucking sling it, you're good enough. You ask fucking questions. And if the person is responsive, then they'll fucking do it. All of this was you. This was all you. And I had nothing to do with it. I'm just fucking talking shit. So don't fucking worry about it. I genuinely appreciate every second that I got to spend with you tonight. This was great. Thank you so much, man. I really, really do appreciate it.
Dude, likewise. Tell the folks where to get at you.
Earth to Adam with Earth_2_Adam on all social media accounts. My DMs are open. I'm single. I ain't doing nothing except eating ass and fucking talking shit on the internet, dog.
Ladies.
So hit me up. Hey, ladies. Go to simmonsandmore.com. That's the website for the podcast. But go to innercirclepn.com and you can find all the content that we put out. Me and all the boys over at IC, the Circle, we're fucking strong as shit, you know. Shout out to you. I'm just saying, you know, maybe if, you know, some things happen and, you know, we drop the show, maybe we pick up on the show. I'm just gonna, you know, whatever. Nobody listens to the show anyway, right? So fucking who cares? Yeah, that's it, dude. And I mean, by all means, if you want me to yell at you to get fucking inspired to do something, just DM me and I'll give you my phone number and we can FaceTime and then I'll just fucking scream at the top of my lungs at you. I am trying to generate a culture of community and tribe around me. And I've gathered a very good group of people around me recently, locally and through the internet. So everyone is more than welcome to come into it, and every little drop of knowledge or instinct that I have, I am willing to give. I just want to be of service to the people that I care about, and even more so to the people that I don't know. So like, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, dude, thank you so much for like just letting me like talk shit and fucking hang out. This was really, really great.
Dude, absolutely. And to everyone out there listening, go to cullah.com, cullah.com, if you liked the music that you heard on this episode, and keep dragging. Yes.